Yo. Welcome in, man. Today is January the 21st. This is the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We are live on a Tuesday, top of the morning. We will get into a quick recap. Let me make sure, just check my settings real quick. I want to make sure, all right, my mic sounds like it's good. I just want to make sure my mic was good. Don't want to be talking for nothing. But it feels like what I did yesterday, man. I guess the Boston Celtics kind of salvaged the day a little bit. We'll just jump straight into the recap, and then we'll get into a couple comments. Let's see. The Boston Celtics salvaged the day a little bit for us, but it was a pretty bad day yesterday for myself. 2-3 officially. Top plays did not cash though. The Phoenix Suns were the top play on the board for me, plus the 8. Absolutely got mollywopped in Cleveland yesterday. Just couldn't get a stop. The offense looked terrible as well. It's going to take a while for them to beat, I guess, good teams with Nick Richards added to the lineup. And then the Memphis Grizzlies just looked like they didn't want to. They looked like they didn't want to win, but then they looked like they didn't want to cover either. I'm talking about just playing super slow. They couldn't make a shot. Memphis just getting whatever it is that they want. Minnesota getting whatever it is that they want against them yesterday. So that was also a loser. They ended up winning the game by 2, but not by 4. And then Dallas and Charlotte added that team total, added that over on the stream live yesterday morning. That was a loser. Like I said, Boston kind of salvaged the day a little bit, but they still lost almost 2.5 units yesterday, a little over 2 units yesterday. So trying to get some of that back today. The problem with today's slate, in my opinion, with trying to get some of it back is I don't enjoy this day's slate. I think it's a terrible slate, honestly. It's only 5 games on the board for today, and I don't really like any of them. So we'll go through a couple quick comments, and then we'll talk the games out, but not a lot that I'm liking on the board for today. Appreciate comments like this from Flint. Appreciate you for sure. Flint Ream says, good morning, everyone. Let's get it. Great couple days. Let's hope it continues. So he's been having some success. I like to hear that. The K must have heard everyone was going under on his assist last night and took it personal. Yeah, I like Detroit yesterday, plus the points too. Wish I would have got there with them. That would have been a winner. What up, GLB? Says, good morning, everyone. Got cooked in the NBA yesterday. Bounced back today. Like to hear that. What up, Christian? Top of the morning to you. It's 11 in Virginia right now. It is brick. Whole East Coast, I think, is just frozen, honestly. It's cold outside. I think it's the coldest day on the East Coast, or at least in Virginia. What up, Marquise? Says, rise and grind. Told y'all Wolves first half plus 3. Jalen Johnson, 9.5 boards. He laddered Beard's assist to 10 last night. Had a good night. And he had some Isaiah Collier hoop last night. I watched a little bit of that game. Fear Lee says it's freezing in Virginia as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's cold in Virginia right now. What up to my guy, Justin? D-Bookie says, what up, Chris? I went crazy yesterday. Only game I didn't get right was the Detroit one. Glad you found some success. Good morning, Christian. Says, what's good, chat? Let's get it today. I think it's a bad day for everyone. I think it was a bad day for everyone, but I hit on the Pelicans game. They came back late after being down by, I think they was down by 20 at the end of the first quarter. Lightbear says it's 5 degrees in Chicago. Minus 5 degrees in Chicago. That's insane. Yeah, absolutely. Tariq in Virginia, he says absolutely ridiculously cold. And Nayeli also in Virginia. Shout out to the VAs in the building. It says, good morning, Chris. You're a gem. You're greatly appreciated. And yes, so cold in Virginia. It's freezing in Virginia right now, man. What up, High TV Chris? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Let's jump into it for today, man. First up, we got jaXon. As we always do, your AI sports betting tool. Link for promo, if you guys are interested in checking it out, is in the description of the video. Today, I switched it up a little bit. I asked jaXon, the prompt that I typed in was, what are the two best player prop bets in the NBA tonight based on last 5 game stats? So jaXon tells me that it likes Paul George up and over his 3-point prop at 2.5. Looks like the line's available on ESPN Bet at minus 145. It says last 5 games, Paul George is averaging 3.8 3-pointers with the 100% hit rate on this line. Denver defends this stat better than average, but George's recent form outweighs this analysis. So Paul George has been on fire from behind the arc, hitting this line in all 5 of his last 5 games. His recent performance includes a sharp increase in 3-point attempts and makes, making this a strong pick despite Denver's solid perimeter defense. So that's the first thing jaXon likes. The second one is Nikola Jovic for the Miami Heat, up and over his 2.5 assist line. It is super juiced though. It's minus 160. So you don't like those odds, but it says that last 5 games, he's averaging 5 assists with 100% hit rate on this line. And Portland's defends assists better than average, but Jovic's recent performance is exceptional. He's been consistent. He's been a consistent playmaker, hitting this line in all 5 of his last 5 games. His role in Miami's offense has expanded, and Portland's defense has struggled to contain versatile forwards like himself. So we got some Paul George love and 3-point love. If he plays, he's listed as questionable, and some Jovic love, based on Outlier. Based on jaXon today. So yeah, check jaXon out, man. If you guys are interested, it's definitely a sports betting tool that I think you guys would absolutely love. So definitely check that out. Let's jump into the slate for today. First game up, we got the Knicks, Knickerbockers up the street. They're in Brooklyn today. This total open is dropping. It opened 222, down to 220, and the spread open with them laying 10 points as a road favorite. They are now laying 11 points as a road favorite. So this was a game, man, that like I said, I don't really like anything from a side or a totals perspective today. But if we jump into it, first thing we got to look at is the manipulation report or the injury report. You can call it what you want to. Brooklyn coming back cross country. They were on a 6-game road trip that finished with them losing to OKC by, I think, more than 20 the other day. And they got Zaire Williams listed as out and D'Lo listed as questionable. Ben Simmons is listed as probable in this game. Cam Johnson is supposed to be back. Cam Thomas, of course, is still out. On the Knicks side, they can submit their injury report late because, of course, they played yesterday at home against the Atlanta Hawks. So it's a terrible spot for Brooklyn, in my opinion, with them being first game back home. But when I look at the Knicks, they're only 1-6 with the rest disadvantage this season. 1-6 against the spread, 1-4 against the spread if they're unrested in general. Both of these teams are playing at a bottom 5 pace over the last 5 games. You got a Brooklyn team that's super inefficient on the offensive end. The 27th in offensive efficiency last 5 games. Now we know a few of those games had, D'Lo. A few of those games did not have D'Lo. A few of those games had Cam Johnson. A few of those games did not. So it's really hard to get a gauge, in my opinion, on this Brooklyn Nets team. The Nets are, like I said, coming off 1 day's rest. It's the first leg of a back-to-back for them. They got the Phoenix Suns coming to town tomorrow, and they're double-digit dogs seeking in-season double-digit revenge. So they lost to the Knicks early this season by double digits. This season, when I was looking into that trend specifically, this season double-digit dogs seeking double-digit in-season revenge are strong under spots. The games are going under about 65%. Of those games have actually gone under. However, you look at the Knicks, like I said, they haven't covered on the second leg of back-to-backs. They're just 1-4 against the spread when they're playing unrested. All 5 of the games that the Knicks have played when they're unrested have gone over the total. All 5 of them. And they're going over by a big margin. By 21 points is the average for the Knicks games when they're playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. So maybe we see D'Lo come in. We see a Brooklyn team that, comes out and plays with some fight. Maybe they can knock down some threes and they have a chance to, get this one up and over the total. But if I had to play anything, I think I would just be looking towards their team total, probably to go under. It really just depends on the injury report, in my opinion. One thing I want to share with you guys is really quickly going over. I used MoneyBaller a lot to handicap this game. And this is MoneyBaller. There is a link in the description where you guys can get 50% off if you're interested in signing up for your first month. But MoneyBaller is a one-stop shop that kind of helps you handicap the games as well. So you can see situational notes for the Knicks, second leg of back-to-back. We just talked about it. For the Nets, rest advantage, in-season revenge, double-digit in-season revenge. Just talked about that. And first game of a back-to-back. I talked about them playing Phoenix tomorrow, which you can see right here as well. So if we go down and kind of look at some trends for the teams, you can see that I just talked about the Knicks only being 1-4 against the spread on the second leg of a back-to-back. But you can also see what I was looking at is Brooklyn first half team total under. So you go down here and you start to look at the team totals, right? So this is team totals. If the Nets are a home dog, they're 11-2 to the under in the first half this season. That's their team total. So you look at the Knicks, if they are a road favorite, they're 9-9. Their opponents are 12-6 to the over. You don't like to see that. I just think about if the Nets are going to be shorthanded. This really stuck out to me. Like I said, both of the teams were kind of playing at a slow pace as well. So that's really the only thing I got in this game. I do think it's a game you kind of wait on the injury report to see if, D'Lo is going to play, if Ben Simmons, who has been getting ruled out lately, is going to get ruled out. If those guys don't play, I think it's an under spot, in my opinion. That's just I do think it's a very, very difficult game to handicap, though, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, and probably one that I'm not looking to bet. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. What up, Andrew? Appreciate you for tapping in. If you want to feel better, check the temperature of North Dakota. You watching from North Dakota, Andrew? I didn't even know y'all could sports bet in North Dakota. Shout out to North Dakota, man. I think you're the first person that ever said you're watching the show from North Dakota. Nayeli says she cashed. jaXon was on the Hornets yesterday. She said she got some cash with the Hornets yesterday. They did win that game. Justin says it's -2 in Pittsburgh right now. Boy. That's a fact, GFX. That is a fact. What up, Jose? Tampa, 44. Must feel good in Tampa right now. Be out there running around with my shirt off. Jerry says 9 degrees in Philly this morning. Yeah, it's cold, man. It's cold. Brian says the Knicks 7-10 against this 7-10 double-digit point spread. Can't lay with Brooklyn. JLB Best says over. I got to look on Boston on Brooklyn against the spread, but can't do it. Need the injury report to be on your side. This, in my opinion. The bookie says the Knicks won both games, but the Nets covered both. I just go with the Nets plus the 10, depending on who plays. Yeah, I kind of feel the same, man. I'm not looking towards the Knicks at all. Really would want everybody in if I wanted the Nets, though, to be honest. Niley says from last night, I like the Knicks to cover the spread. Nets are not going to really make a comeback until they are healthy. But the Knicks back-to-back sounds scary, so lean towards the Knicks for her. And that's up. Tamara says 2 degrees in Ohio. Jesus, boy, it's freezing everywhere. Y'all making me want to go put some gloves on my fingers reading all these comments. -10 in Wisconsin, Showtime says. Boy. 11 degrees in New York right now. That's what we got. 11. The high for the day is 25. Jabba says he likes Bridges over 16.5 points. Revenge game for him. Incredible matchup. I was thinking about that as well this morning. He was asked about it in the post-game interview yesterday. Let's go over to the next game that we got on the board for today. The Portland Trail Blazers will be in Miami. Another really difficult game. Line opened to 10.5, 11. It's still sitting around that as well. The total is going up to 221. I see 222 on the board as well. So we look at the injury report here on the Portland Trail Blazers side of things. We got Anthony Simons listed as questionable. Klingon is out. Robert Williams is listed as questionable as well. They will continue to be without Matisse Thybulle. Chris Murray is also listed as game time decision. On the Miami Heat side, they will have everyone outside of Josh Richardson. So if we go and look at a couple of different things I looked at in this one as well. So Portland, they're in a rough spot here. They are coming off a win as a dog. They beat Chicago in their last game. So should be a letdown spot for them. It's also a third game in 4 nights for Portland. It's a fourth game in 6 nights for Portland. They do, however, have double-digit in-season revenge as well, just like the New York Knicks do. Just like the Brooklyn Nets do, which I already told you guys that leans itself more towards an under. They just lost to Miami, and they got smoked in that game last week, and the game was in Portland. This season, I talked about it. This season, double-digit dogs who also have double-digit in-season revenge are 21-11 to the under. That's a strong 66% trend. I shared it in the last game as well. Add to the fact that Simons is listed as questionable. Klingon is out. Miami plays at the 4th slowest pace at home. Portland also bottom 10 in pace on the road. Portland being the 3rd worst offense and the 2nd worst offensive efficiency team last 5 games. Only really scoring at the rim if you go in and kind of look at their metrics of where they're shooting the basketball. And I think that this game should stay under the total, under 222. I know it's moving in the opposite direction, but I don't agree with that. I think Portland's going to struggle to score. I know they just got Jeremy Grant back in the last game. That should help out the offense a little bit, but to me, I think this is more of an under type game. Not laying 11 points with Miami. Can they blow Portland out? Absolutely, they can. When Portland can't, when they're down bigs, which I said Klingon is out, and you got Robert Williams listed as game time decision. They can really. That's when they really, really struggle, because the only thing Portland really does well is rebound the basketball. So when you're down those rebounders and you just got Ayton out there and you're not sure what kind of effort you're gonna get from Ayton, that makes it difficult. It makes it really, really difficult for them to have any kind of advantage here. So under would be my recommendation, but it's not a game that I'm super interested in playing, if I'm being honest with you guys. Going back to the last one, Flint likes Mikal Bridges up and over his points, rebounds, and assists. Garrett says, good morning, everyone. Stay warm. Let's cash. The bookie says, if Cam and D'Lo play, I'll put a little bit on the Nets money line. I do think if they play, it's a game that they can keep within the number. Honestly, I really, really do. I think it's a little bit of a letdown for the Knicks, but we'll see. We shall see. And also, like I said, you kind of got to monitor the injury report. The Knicks also had to fight from behind yesterday. They were down to Atlanta to come back, win, and cover that game. 45 in Florida, but that's freezing to us. But she says 45 feel great right now. We're not even gonna see 45 this week. I don't think it's gonna be 45 this week. Let's see what y'all saying about this one. Noah Clowney under money. What up, Merrill? Good morning, bro. He says Hami Hotcast 11.5 points and assists. He likes Jovic over his 13.5 points and assists. They've been on a heater. I'm gonna write these two down because I am trying to find some way to play something today. I just do not like the slate, if I'm being honest with you guys. So Hami Hotcast. I'll look a little deeper into this. 11.5 points and assists, and then Nikola Jovic 13.5 points and assists. Okay, I'll look into those. Blazers solo under for Hyman Brinks. I could see that. Natalie says she loves the under 221 and the Heat minus 10.5 here. Brim says top of the morning. Let's get paid. Hopefully we can get paid. Brian says it's 42 in LA. We're gonna shut down the city. The 42 feel great right now, man. All right, next one. We got the Magic and the Raptors. Potentially maybe the best game on the board for today. It's the one that got the only one that's not a double-digit spread today is this game. This line opened with, I think I wrote in my notes that Toronto was getting 3 points as a home dog, and now they're getting 1.5. So money, sharp money, probably coming in on the Raptors here to potentially win this game. And if you're getting down to 1.5, you kind of need the Raptors to win this game, and that was my hesitation. I know Orlando has not been playing great, but I don't know if I want the Raptors to actually win. So total open 215.5. It's down to 215, 214.5 out there. So line kind of all over the market. The market kind of all over the place as far as the total goes. You can get really whatever it is that you want. So we got a Orlando team that is still very, very depleted. They will be without Franz and Mo and Jalen Suggs, and Gogo Batadze is still ruled out with a concussion. And Gary Harris is potential game time decision here. And Jet Howard is also game time decision. Orlando Magic got to get a little bit more healthier for me to want to take them, man. It's tough. I just continuously watch this team just lose games over and over again. Now, their last couple games has been, a more difficult strength of schedule. They played against Boston. They played against Milwaukee. They played against Denver in their last few games, and they've been getting smoked by all of those teams. Big step down in class here against the 10-32 Toronto Raptors. But the Raptors have also played a really, really strong strength of schedule. When I was looking into this last night, both teams have actually played a top 5 strength of schedule over the last 5 games. So who is the better of the two evils in this spot, you might ask yourself. Real quick, let me just double check what I just said. I want to say that that's right, though. I just didn't write it down. Yeah, so Orlando, 4th most difficult schedule last 5 games. Toronto, 2nd most difficult schedule last 5 games. You got an Orlando team that's the worst offensive efficiency rated team over the last 5 games. Defensively, they're 18th as well, which is a big step back for them. They do get a Toronto team that struggles to score, but recently Toronto is actually 11th in offensive efficiency, but they're also 26th in defensive efficiency last 5 games. So two teams kind of, trying to figure it out right now. Toronto will be without Quickly again. I think that's worth noting. And I think their defense is a lot better. I think, they play a lot slower without Quickly as well. I mentioned, them not playing super fast. They're 22nd in pace, Orlando 23rd in pace. And that's where I kind of was looking in this game. I want to quickly go back to TheMoneyBaller real quick and share with you guys how I was looking at this one. I'm looking at the under, specifically the first half under. I think kind of jumps out to me the most. So what I wrote in my notes, both teams play top 5 schedule last 5 games. Orlando dead last in scoring, playing at a bottom 10 pace. Toronto also playing at a bottom 10 pace. I want to play under, maybe even a first half under here. Toronto does have 3 days of rest in this game versus Orlando, who just played on Sunday. Toronto also has revenge. They lost 97 to 106. You can see that right here in the historical matchup. This is back on MoneyBaller, just FYI. The Raptors are 3-11 straight up this season when they were seeking revenge, and they're a dog. However, in the 4 games that they've been seeking revenge as a home dog, they're 3-1 straight up and against the spread. So that says the Raptors can keep this game competitive. I'm looking at it more from a total perspective. You can see here that the Magic, when they are a road favorite, they are 8-1 to the under. This is over/under records. They're 8-1 to the under when they're a road favorite. Now, when you look a little deeper, you can see that the Raptors in the first half, if they have the rest advantage, weirdly enough, they're 5-1 to the under when the Raptors have the rest advantage. Team totals, the Magic are 7-2 to the under on their team total if they're a road favorite. And their opponents, you can see here, their opponents are 7-2 to the under on their team total as well. The Raptors also don't score, that great as a home dog in the first half. And I think first half is more, in my opinion, the better of the 2 plays. You got a Magic team that's coming off a bunch of losses in a row. You got a Raptors team that's playing super slow. So I like first half under. When I was looking for the number, I couldn't even find it. I don't know if the book, I looked at, maybe like 30 minutes before the show started. I couldn't find a first half total at all. But that would be my recommendation in this game, is a first half total between Orlando and Toronto. It looks like it's 110.5. Yeah, I think 110.5 is too many points here. That's the way I would play this one, is Toronto in Orlando first half under. First half under. Toronto first half under. You can get 110.5 right now over on ESPN Bet. I don't think that's going to be available for too long. I do see it down to 109.5 already. I'm just thinking that this one's going to be an absolute rock fight between these two teams that really struggle to shoot the 3. We know Orlando's bottom 5 shooting the 3 on the full season. Toronto also struggles to shoot the 3-point shot as well. So that would be my recommendation in this game. I didn't really look into player props, maybe some Paulo love or something like that. I'll look a little deeper because I do kind of eventually want to play on Paulo. Let's see what y'all have here in this one. Raptors to the under, Brian says. I agree with that. Mr. Panda says another under. I agree with that. The bookie says Raptors on the money line. Man, I don't know. JB Best says debating the over in the Orlando game too. So he's thinking over. Taylor says under 221. Heat are under in 7 of their 10 games versus teams in the bottom 10 in offensive rating, averaging just 210 points a game in those spots. I like it, Taylor. I think under is. I already had under on my short list. I like under a lot in that game. He only says it was 3 degrees when I left the spot. Here in Boston, almost had to reconsider. This weather make you reconsider a lot of things, man. Definitely. Raptors money line for Flint. Naomi says Magic money line over 215. So a lot of back-to-back, conflicting thoughts in the comment section. Shout out to my guy Dropping Dimes. What up, Dropping Dimes? Hope all is well with you, bro. He says he likes under here. I like it. I like the under as well. Money making Magic bounce back. Naomi says, yeah, I don't want to. It's difficult. It's really difficult in my opinion, man. I can see both. I do think, like I said, the Magic last couple losses have been to really good teams, though. I'll tell you guys that. I know that they've been struggling. I know that the Raptors have the rest advantage here. But when I look at the Magic, let's real quick. Like I know I called them out already, but when you look at the Magic last few wins, man, last few games, I know they've been losing, but they played a really difficult schedule. Denver, Boston, Milwaukee, They beat Philly, lost to Milwaukee, lost to the Timberwolves, played the Knicks. Like, it's been a difficult, brutal schedule for them. Coming off 3 straight losses, it seems like a winnable game, even though I know Toronto is going to get up for it as well. Toronto lost to Milwaukee, beat Boston, beat Golden State, lost to Detroit, lost to Cleveland, lost to New York, lost to the Bucks, lost to the Magic, beat the Brooklyn Nets, and then lost to Boston. So both of these teams playing really, really difficult strength of schedule. I think the first half under, and I'm probably going to add that. Like, I haven't made a play yet, but I like that first half under 110.5 more than anything here. Taylor says Magic minus 1.5. The Raptors have only covered this line 2 of 14 games versus teams ranked in the top quarter of defensive rating, losing by an average of 12.2 points. Okay. And don't let me convince you, Joe. I'm terrible with totals, man. I haven't even played an under in quite some time. So I don't know. It feels like an under spot for me, in my opinion. And it's just top of the morning, Chris. We got rocked on the Minnesota, almost backdoor cover for Memphis. I don't even want to talk about Memphis. They really they crushed me, man. That hurt. Watching Memphis like come out so just, I don't know, just so not locked in, man. Like, they couldn't guard anything. Like, they couldn't score. They were playing slow. Like, it was just not the Minnesota team, the Memphis team I'm used to seeing. But it happens, man. It happens. Matthew says it's only 27 in Texas. Everybody throwing out the weather where they at. Sonny says, I usually catch you on Cal's show, but I've been checking your streams out for the past couple days. Really appreciate your insight, man. Thank you. I appreciate you showing the appreciation for sure. Just trying to help as much as I can. Chad says only game Magic have won recently was the 76ers. Enough said. He doesn't like the Magic today, clearly. What up, Brian says today is a live betting day for these spreads. They're crazy, and I agree with that, man. 17 is Charlotte, Brim says. Wish we were getting more points with Toronto. I feel more comfortable betting them, and I agree. You really need the Raptors to win outright in this game. And like I said, I think it's a step down in class, but the Magic, their roster is depleted right now, man. Maybe Magic early, because they could potentially run out of gas. The Raptors are coming off 3 days rest in this spot. So I lean first half under, probably going to get there with the under 110.5. Next one, we got 76ers and the Nuggets. Game will be played in Denver today. This line opened with I think the Sixers were getting 12.5 points. And now they're getting 13.5 points. The total is on the rise, open to 27.5, up to 229. In this one, we got a depleted injury report on both sides, man. That's how you know I really enjoy talking the games out, because this is probably the worst slate of basketball that I've seen so far this year. All double-digit spreads outside of the last game. You still got some injury stuff going on in that one as well. I do see the total dropping down to 214.5 though, and I do agree with that. So in that game, so we look at this one. We got potential for Paul George to return. He's questionable. Gerson Yabusele is questionable with a knee injury. He did not play in the last game. Joel Embiid, of course, is out, and Andre Drummond is also listed as questionable. That is important because you take Yabusele and Drummond off the floor, and Denver probably scores 150 points in this game. This is a team that just, running up and down the floor. It's not a great spot for Philly, even though I know that they can continuously lose games. They're going to lose all of them. Like, they're not going to beat this Denver Nuggets team indicative of, where the point spread is. When I was looking at this one, just real quick, if I go back to MoneyBaller. All right, so let's go back to MoneyBaller real quick. I use MoneyBaller a lot for this slate. Clearly, you guys can tell. And like I said, there's a description. There's a coupon code in the description if you guys are interested, where you can get 50% off your first month. So if we go 76ers versus Nuggets, right? You can see for the Sixers, it's third game in 4 nights. Now, granted, Denver has played their last few games on the road. They just beat Orlando 113-100. You can see that here. They just beat Miami 133-113. They lost to Houston on the second leg of a back-to-back. We got this one right. So first game back home for them, flying from Orlando back to Denver. Philly was in Milwaukee on the East Coast, lost that game by 14, didn't cover the spread. Lost to the Indiana Pacers, also didn't cover the spread in that one. Lost to the Knicks, didn't cover that spread. So, and of course, they got absolutely smoked by the OKC Thunder. They did get a push in this game, I think, depending on what number you got. So we got a Philly team that's looked really, really, terrible. But I don't know. I think if Paul George come back, it could, this game could be competitive enough to keep it within the 13.5 point margin. I just don't like that it's third game in 4 nights for them, and I can't play Philadelphia without knowing the status of any of their bigs in this game. So when I was looking into it, the thing that kind of jumped out to me, or not even on this screen, but when I was looking at using MoneyBaller with my numbers, and I'll go down so you guys can see the trends as well. I'm looking at this Denver team, and they're just like really scoring the ball really, really efficiently recently. They're they're sixth in offensive efficiency, fifth in defensive efficiency, fifth overall in efficiency in general, and they're playing pretty fast. They're at home. Their home games they're fifth in pace. The Sixers are playing pretty slow. They have played the strongest strength of schedule over the last 5 games, but Denver has also played a really strong schedule. They're third in strength of schedule. Excuse me, winning their games by an average of about 8 points last 5 games, where the Sixers are losing their last 5 games by about 11. But third game in 4 nights. Now you're in a major fatigue spot in altitude. I feel like Philly probably runs out of gas in this spot. So while I said Denver team total over, because I think that they're going to play with a bunch of pace, and the other thing that really made me like that was I'll pull it up real quick. Well, not pull it up. Let me just get to it. If the bigs don't play for Philly here, Denver's going to live in the paint. So Denver is number 2 in rim frequency last 5 games. The 76ers are 23rd in opponent rim frequency, 27th in opponent rim accuracy. It will be an absolute layup line for Denver in this spot. If Gershon doesn't play and if Drummond doesn't play, Philly gets mollywopped in this game, and I will be looking at a Denver team total to go up and over. If they do play, I think it's more of a team total under spot for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they just kind of run out of gas. I'm still not expecting them to be able to score the basketball. Not in my opinion here. So here are some over under numbers. You can see that the 76ers in the first half are 28-13 to the under. You can see team total wise, the 76ers, not a great, just team in general as far as scoring the basketball, 26-14-1 to their team total under. And the Nuggets are 25-16-1 to their team total over. So their offense has been humming. They've been clicking. And I think that they should be able to score the basketball again as well if Philly is without their big men. So I know it's a bunch of hypotheticals here. If Philly has their big men, I think that it's a team total under for Philly. If Philly does not have their big men, I think it's a Denver team total, and they can score as many points as they want to in this spot. So I know those are quick thoughts. Just kind of wanted to give you guys how I was thinking about the game. All right, let's go back over and see what you guys are thinking about this one. Let's see. Nuggets minus 13.5. Justin likes Paolo over his 28.5 points and assists. Put it in his pocket. You can see that. Merrill likes Bruce Brown over 7.5 as well. In that last game, maybe a doggy dog world today. And morning, my guy. No, absolutely, my guy. I'm not looking at too many of these favorites laying this many points, especially not the Knicks on the second leg of a back-to-back where they're just 1-4 against the spread. All the dogs got the guys listed as questionable too, though, right? Like, you think about Brooklyn, like, who knows if Ben Simmons is going to play? Who knows if D'Angelo Russell's going to play? You think about Portland, you really would want to have Simmons in. He's questionable. You think about Philly, whole front court listed as questionable outside of Embiid, who's already listed as out. So, yeah, I'm right there with you, Markel. Just these dogs have been getting smoked sometimes as well, though, especially if they're super short-handed. It's not the greatest spot for the Sixers here. Brian says third quarter Denver at the crib. Who's going to stop Jokic? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Nuggets 7-1 to the over at home versus the East, J-Man says. I just talked about it. I like that team total. JB Best says I'll lay the points with Denver. I think Denver is definitely the right side. I just think that if you jump ahead of it early, Paul George, Yabusele, Drummond being potentially, all of those guys get rolled in, you get a better number with Denver. Not one of the reasons why I didn't rush to the window to grab Denver last night when I was thinking about this game. Westbrook rebounds and assists haven't followed lately, but been cashing, Brian says. Niley says taking a chance with the 76ers plus 13.5. Also pairing it with the over 2.5 threes from jaXon. Okay. I hope you cash that. Let's see. What up, Mark? Says, good morning, Chris and crew. Didn't see much I like today, but always wanted to hear everyone out. Yeah, same, Mark. Same. I'm glad it's not just me, man. Hot TV Grid says Nuggets to score 100 throughout the first 3 quarters is a plus 375. The only thing that slows me up here, Hot TV Grid, is that the Sixers play so slow, man. Even in these games that they've lost recently, I watched the game against Philly. The game against the Bucks. I watched the game against who else did they just recently lose to? To the Pacers. Like, all of those games started pretty slow. Like, they're trying to play defense. The 76ers are playing slow. They're trying to play defense. It just runs out. And I think it's going to run out again in this one. But I don't know if it's going to be through the first 3 quarters. And it's difficult based on the injury report. What up to my guy Finesse? What up, bro? Hope all is well with you. He says make sure y'all hit the like. That would help and it's greatly appreciated, but it's all cool if you don't. Chad says shout out to KP. First quarter points. Cashed in 90 seconds last night. That is 5 straight hammers. He says hammer them 4.5 and 5.5 in the first quarter until they raise it. And Porzingis has been trying to get himself established early in games. I definitely agree with that. All right, one more game to get to, and that is the Washington Wizards against my Los Angeles Lakers. This line opened at 14.5. It's come down to 12.5. The total opened 231.5. It's come down to 229 now. And I can't lie, man. I don't disagree. I do not disagree with this at all. I'm not laying 14.5 points with the Lakers. I don't want to take 14.5 points with the Wizards, but I think they are the lesser of the 2 evils. You do got a Wizards team that, in my opinion, probably a little bit more of a first half is what I would think in this one versus the full game. I could see them potentially running out of gas here. They ran out of gas against the Warriors. They couldn't finish that game after covering the first quarter in the first half. They ran out of gas against the Sacramento Kings. I think they covered the first half, or were at least close to covering the first half against the Sacramento Kings. So now you get them third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights, all on the West Coast as well. Not all of them, but 2 of the 3 have been have been on the West Coast. And it's a spot where they probably run out of gas. The Wizards' first half, I think, is probably the best play here. If we go look at the injury report, Brogdon is still out. I'm not even sure. I think he traveled with the team, but he's still out. LeBron James is probable, even though he was in Georgia last night. I did see Bron at the game last night. So, that I'm not – I saw him with a Red Bull. I don't know if it was actually Red Bull, if he had some – I don't know, man. I'm not laying 14.5 points with the Lakers. I know that. AD is probable. As AD is actually questionable in this game, and that could be one of the reasons why the spread has come down. I just think it's Wizards early. I think the Wizards early, maybe even potential Wizards full game. The Lakers offenses look pretty atrocious. We talked about it before they played against the Clippers. They couldn't score the basketball. Now they do get one of the worst defenses in the NBA. So they should be in a bounce back spot here. But like I said, not laying this many points. They have played the 10th strongest strength of schedule over the last 10 games. The Wizards have also played the 9th strongest strength of schedule last 10 games. The Wizards are second worst defensive efficiency team last 5. Lakers are 22nd in offensive efficiency. Their offense has really struggled. Lakers also 28th in defensive efficiency last 5 games. Maybe even a Wizards first half team total over. Because like I said, I can kind of see the Wizards running out of gas here because of the situational spot. But Wizards first half team total, I think makes the most sense in my opinion here. It's probably something super low, like 53.5 or 54.5. And I think that they can score early in this game against the Lakers. I don't see the Lakers coming in super locked in this one. Also, a look towards Austin Reeves' assists. I think it's time we get back on that train. So real quick, let's go over to Outlier, and I'll talk you guys through Austin Reeves' assists. This is Outlier, link in the description. Get you a 7-day free trial if you're interested in signing up for Outlier. So Austin Reeves he had been crushing his assist line, as you guys can see here. The number is 6.5 on DraftKings. It is juice. It's super juice, minus 145. I think most books have pushed this already up to 7.5. Back-to-back games for Austin Reeves. You can see here where he struggled, only had 3 assists and 3 assists. But those were against 2 pretty good defenses. Brooklyn was also coming off a 1,000-point loss to the Clippers the night before. So made sense for them to kind of lock in defensively in this game. They almost beat the Lakers in this game. So he only had 3 assists in this one. He had 3 assists against the Clippers as well. So 2 really good defenses. The potentials you could kind of say are still there, though. You can see he had 12 potential. So that's a horrible conversion percentage there. I think that's like, less than 30%. He had 12 potential, only ended up with 3. Then he had 8 potential and only ended up with 3. And also the Clippers are a really good defense as well. But now, you get one of the worst defenses in the NBA. Reeves should be able to do what he wants to against this Washington Wizards team, especially AD listed as questionable, does not play in this game today. The Wizards are allowing, you can see here, the 5th most assists overall on the full season versus the point guard position. They're allowing the 8th most assists. And Austin Reeves is listed as a shooting guard. So you can call him what you want to call him. Against the shooting guard position, they actually give up the most assists in this game as well. So, it's always, you don't really drink the juice if the bet hits. And I do think that, the 6.5 minus 145, which is typically a cutoff point for me, is playable for Austin Reeves. I think he has the ball in his hands, play makes a lot, get back to his assist ways of getting 8, getting 14 against this really poor defense here. So I like Austin Reeves' assists a lot in this game at 6.5. And Washington Wizards team total, or just for them to cover in the first half, I think is also the best way to get paid in this game if I had to play it. But no official play for me. Just kind of giving you guys my thought process here. Let's see what we have on this one, and then we'll get up out of here, man. Do a quick recap and get up out of here. Definitely an over game, Marquis says. Wizards spread and over for Hyman Brink. Marquis says Bron sipping. Bron got drunk last night taking the under. J-Man says Wiz 2-5 against the spread on the road versus the West. 5-2 to the over. Lakers under, Antonio says. Nayeli says I'm taking the Lakers with the Lakers. Come on, it's Wizards. The Wizards only had smoke with the Warriors. Now it's back to getting blown out. They did get blown out against Sacramento, but that was the second leg of a back-to-back. This is 3rd and 4 for the Wizards, and that's why I think that they could potentially run out of gas late in this game. Let's see. Max Christie over his points for Christian. Good morning, PZ. What up to you? Chad says need a psych major for these double-digit spreads. Never know where the team's heads are when it's a talent disparity this wide, and I absolutely agree. It's why I don't have a play today at all, man. Like I said, just really kind of taking you guys through my thought process on these games. Let's see. Killing says, light day today for sure. Like that, like for that team total under, and for the Portland team total under. Flint says, but Reeves is money, but LeBron may be the way to go. Not sure, but I think I'm going to go with Bron. Valanciunas for Taylor, over his 10.5 points with 20 plus minutes. He's over in 16 of his 20 games. Lakers ranked 20th worst limited points and rebounds. We just saw Zubac have a big game. So if his minutes are there, Taylor, I could see Zubac having a pretty big one in this one. And if AD gets ruled out, the Lakers defense is terrible, man. Cam Johnson points, man. He says, "Don't let me talk you off. I don't know where the line's sitting at. Could see it for sure. The Knicks have been terrible guarding the 3-point line. Cam Johnson only wants to play pickup style basketball where he's shooting a bunch of threes. So, yeah, couldn't talk you off. I appreciate you, Adrian, for dropping in. Adrian, I think is how you pronounce that. My fault if I butchered that, but I appreciate you for tapping in, and I appreciate the kind words. JLB Bet says he got an over, but the spread is tough, and I appreciate you as always as well, Justin. Getting into a quick recap. Portland, Miami, this total is on the move. I don't agree with the way that it's going, though. This, in my opinion, is an under. You can get under 221.5, but like I said, I'm on a unders diet right now as well. Orlando and Toronto first half under, though, I think is honestly one of my favorite plays on the board. I think I might just ride with this one and let everything else, just let the chips fall where they may. I really, really like this one a lot. Austin Reeves, I just talked about his assists. I like that a lot. And this Denver team total is in red because it's highly dependent upon, like I said, if the bigs for Philly get ruled in. If Yabusele and Paul George and Drummond get ruled in, I don't like Denver team total over as much. But if they get ruled out, I do think Denver scores 125 points in this game against Philly. So these are my top looks on the board for today. The other thing I think I talked about was honestly, I'll just leave it here. I'll leave it here. I don't like the slate today, like I said at the top of the show. Really just trying to give you guys my thought processes on the game, monitor the injury reports, maybe even play some live bets. I will be back on with Cal on his channel at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully we have some more updated injury news, and we can go ahead and start getting ready for Wednesday, man. It's a big card for tomorrow. Don't force anything today. I always talk about that. Don't force anything. We got 10 games on the board for tomorrow. Much better spot. So best of luck on all your action today, man. Resources. I utilized all of these. I told you guys the props that jaXon likes today. Outlier gave you guys a tutorial on that. MoneyBaller as well. And OddsJam sportsbook screen page. You'll just bring up all the odds so you don't have to shop around for all of them. So check those out. Links for all of those in the description of the video. If you want access to the Discord, just shoot me an email at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps2Ns @gmail.com, and I'll send you the link for the Discord as well, man. Best of luck on whatever it is that you're betting. Stay warm today, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.